Today, we meet Professor Tissa Wijeratne, who is the co-chair of the World Federation of Neurology's Public Awareness and Advocacy Committee. He is also the current chair of the Department of Neurology at Western Health. Just at the end of last month, Professor Wijeratne achieved another most outstanding accomplishment in his illustrious career. He was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia, the OAM, for his service to medicine and in the neurological field. Congratulations, Professor, and welcome to the program. It's nice to have you on the show. In your career, you have many outstanding achievements to your credit. What was the path that was taken for this particular recognition?
Noeline, thank you for those kind words and thank you for having me in this show also. It is an humbling experience to be recognized with an Australia Day Award for services in medicine as a neurologist. I have not been aware of the entire process of how I was nominated, but as you said, as I gathered, it's through the contributions that I made over last nearly 2 decades or so in neurology. I became interested in medicine since I was at high school, when I knew that that path could end up in medicine rather accidentally. But having entered the medical school, I was immensely interested in how human brain and human mind works.
So you were committed to neurology from the very beginning?
Very beginning. Since I was a third-year medical student, since I knew about the existence of this subject. To cut a long story short, due to a variety of reasons, I came to Australia as a young neurologist in training from New Zealand in 2005. I should remind really brilliant, one of the kindest physicians that I ever met while I was training to become a physician first in New Zealand, with the name Dr. Richard Deverts. He's the ID physician at Nelson Hospital. He helped me immensely to organize my thoughts to retrain in medicine back again in New Zealand before I came to Australia. We still keep in touch with each other. From 2005 onwards, my life took a different trajectory as a young neurologist at Western Health. Although my main interest was in movement disorders at that time, my mentor at that time, who is retired now, Professor Robert Helm, asked me to improve stroke services for the region. The Western Health is a unique hospital, currently catering for about well over 1 million patient population, representing close to 160 languages. So it's one of the most culturally and linguistically diverse communities. We didn't have a proper stroke program at that time, so I had to work with others to build it from the scratch. Within about 3-4 years, we were able to develop a world-class stroke program, from prevention, acute treatment, and a research program. And then, as I saw other neurological problems, the confronting or having similar issues, I got involved more with movement disorders indeed, and migraine and headache disorders. That then led to resurrecting Headache Society in Australia with the help of a couple of my other colleagues here. And around 2008 or so, I rather accidentally got involved with World Federation Neurology also. That's also an interesting story. There was a workshop for neurologists and neurologists in training in resource-limited setting. You could argue that, well, you practice in Australia, so this is not a resource-limited place. But for me, with the community that I was serving at that time, and because I was traveling back and forth to Sri Lanka regularly, since I became a neurologist, sometimes up to 5 times per year, sometimes 2-3 times per year, with teaching courses, educational.
So all of this led to your recognition of that?
I would assume so. I would assume so. So over the years, then we introduced, with others' help, of course, the World Brain Day program, now running for about period of about 10 years, with reaching out to close to 150 to 200 million people globally. And it is probably the service building, research, educational activities, because the statement say my services to medicine as a neurologist. So those were the little things that I was trying to do over last 17 years or so.
I'm sure you must be very happy that you have been recognized for your work through the years.
Indeed, while it is a very humbling experience, it's a satisfying experience also. I didn't realize the weight of that at that time. In fact, I didn't believe that when the Governor General Office contacted me to seek my consent that this is a real thing. So I initially thought that this was a spam call. So I rejected it as I was in the middle of the ward round with one of my registrars, and I told her that forget it, this is not true. But later on, it indeed became true. But more to the point, I think I realized the weight of that when I started to receive emails from my senior colleagues and very well-recognized world leaders in Melbourne, Sydney, and other places. Knowing that it would help me to do more to the local region, nationally as well as internationally.
Professor, I'm aware that you have identified and named the post-COVID-19 neurological syndrome as a new and distinct syndrome. It's globally named the long COVID. What are the effects of the long COVID on brain health?
That's a very good question, Noeline. The short answer is COVID-19 has reminded us the potential long-term impact that could happen at least up to 1 in 10 of the patients, which actually described by patients themselves. We just put a name to it, having seen the bunch of patients up to about 100 or so.
So what are the symptoms of that?
So most of these patients, they get fatigue, tiredness, brain fog, inability to work to the same capacity that they used to be. Good news so far, while there are too many unknown things, at least in our hands, nearly 90% of the patients with post-COVID-19 neurological syndrome got better within about first 6 months. Some patients, while they had lingering symptoms up to 2 years, still majority of the symptoms settled down.
So could this have long-term repercussions?
It's a question that we do not know the answer at this point of time. Doesn't look like it is the case, but it's a question that most of us are eagerly and enthusiastically studying like hawks to see whether that is the case. On a positive note, though, if that is the case, because the world is united against the fight of all these things, we have a global COVID-19 neurological coalition where we work together globally. I'm hoping that as we are vigilant on this, if there are long-term repercussions in time to come, we would also come up with answers to tackle them.
So what you're saying is that there is some way of treating this, the long-term repercussions if they do happen.
Absolutely. What we do need to though is to be interested in doing things that are promoting the health of brain or brain health regularly and vigilantly, not ignoring it.
Thank you, Professor. Once again, congratulations on being the recipient of the most recent Medal of the Order of Australia award. I wish you continued success in your endeavors as a neurologist, and thank you very much for joining us on this program.
Thank you for having me.
Today I talked with Professor Tissa Wijeratne, who was recently honoured with the Medal of the Order of Australia award, a remarkable achievement for this eminent neurologist. Thank you for joining us. I'm Noeline Hunter, and I'm looking forward to being with you again soon on the Sri Lanka Morning Show. Bye for now.
There's no better place on earth than you. Yeah, I dream of you, Sri Lanka. Yeah, I pray for you, Sri Lanka. My hopes on you, Sri Lanka.